Greeting, brothers and sisters. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to the Most High and the Son of the Most High, to whom all praise and glory is due. In doing some research, I came across the perfect visual to give the complete understanding that we are very close to the kingdom of heaven. And it shows and proves everything that I've been saying on social media about the colonizer's empire falling, as well as America falling. And we can visually see through this demonstration that I'm about to show just how close we are to the kingdom of heaven. And with this little visual, I want to do a little breakdown of exactly what the kingdom of heaven is for certain people who still don't have that understanding due to religion or whatever misconception of what the kingdom of heaven is. So I want to also go into a very basic and simple understanding of exactly what or who the beast is. Because some of these things through religion, through Christianity, through many different even so-called awakened Hebrews, you cannot get the understanding of. So I'm going to break down in as simple and basic as I possibly can the beast, the kingdom of heaven, and just how close visually we can see that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay, this is the early modern period. You can find this on Wikipedia. I want to go down here on this website to New World in Americas. This is a visual of the colonizer and the history of colonization. This is 1492 after the Renaissance era, which was in the 1450s. It shows here in 1550 the growing of their colonization. And you can see the nations over here that are growing and colonizing the world, taking control, colonial power over the world. As you see here in 1822, it's growing excessively from 1492. 1885, even greater. Next image, 1914. As you can see, this is a very big power that they have. And here in 1938, you can see they're starting to lose some. They're losing it already. 1959, losing even more. 1974. You see, France one time had a large colonization power in 2008. As you can see, they no longer have their colonization in Africa, although they do have a lot of their banking that is taken over the money aspect of it, the religious aspect, and as well as the American military that they use for their might. But you can clearly see through this demonstration right here that the colonizer is falling. After this kingdom falls is when the kingdom of heaven comes. So this is very close. This should be a visual understanding of just how close we are getting to them falling. As you can see, 1914 was the height. Look at all this French colonization in Africa. 1959 to 1974, that's all gone. Look at this, they're falling. France can't even keep control of their own people in their own country now. Strong seditions in Paris. 2008, you can see they're very much falling. They're definitely going backwards. Which this is also a visual of prophecy that you can find in the Bible. This is a visual interpretation of a prophecy that you can find in Malachi 1, which I'm about to go over here pretty quick, because this right here is the kingdom. This is the rulership that's over the planet. This is the fourth beast that's ruling over the world as of right now. So as you can see, 1885, it was pretty strong along the outside. Then they made their way inside of Africa, as well as throughout the entire world. They made their way all around the world. And as you can see, they're falling down. Their kingdom is losing its power, just like the Most High said it would. So I want to go here into a prophecy. As you can see, 2008, that was 10 years ago. It's even more falling apart now. Here in America, you can clearly understand that they feel like they need a wall. They feel like their colonization and their power, they need a wall, although it is for other uses other than just for their borders. But we're going to go here in Malachi 1 and show this prophecy in the scriptures. This is Malachi 1:1. It says, the burden of the word of the Most High to Israel by Malachi. So Malachi gave a prophecy from the Most High to the Israelite people. Here in Malachi verse number 2, it says, I have loved you, saith the Most High. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Most High? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, Esau is Edom, who is the father of the Edomites. This is the so-called white man. Esau, when you go into the basics to understand some of the basics of the Bible, is also a biblical name for the so-called white man. As you can go here in Genesis 36 verse number 8, it says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. So anytime in the scriptures you see Esau, you see Mount Seir and Edom, or the Edomites, it is talking about the so-called white man, which I'll go into some of these basics here maybe later for those who don't really understand that Esau is the so-called white man. But back here to Malachi 1 where it says, whereas Edom saith, who is Esau, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. Very important scriptures here. This is a very important prophecy, as we'll see here pretty soon. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say that the Most High will be magnified from the border of Israel. So when it says here, they shall build, but I will throw down, that is exactly what is being showed right here. When you understand who the white man is after they've returned from being impoverished, returning is talking about the Renaissance era, when the rebirth of the Roman Empire. During the Greco-Roman Empire, the so-called white man had control over the kingdom, which is their rulership that was over here in the Western Hemisphere. But they returned after falling. After the Roman Empire fell, you had 1,000 years of the Byzantine Empire, and also they definitely was not a player or a major factor during that time period, which you'll never know through their history. But in history, the truth about history, they were missing in action. So when it says they shall return, this is exactly what you're seeing in building the desolate places, but the Most High is throwing down. As you can see here, after 1914, the Most High begins to fulfill those prophecies that he is saying that he going to throw them down. As you can see, they're losing all of their power. Just like he said, they shall build, but I will throw down. That's exactly what you can also see here in this visual. Visually, you can see that he is throwing down these people in their power. So as I explained here that they shall build and I will throw down, some people don't understand that this is the so-called white man because of the power that they have. But everything that this has to do with, and the only reason for real that these people have this type of power, is because of a prophecy that goes back into Genesis, or the blessings from Isaac to Esau. So really, it's because of Isaac that these people have been able to return and build, and the blessing that he was given from the beginning, which all of it has to do with the will of the Most High. All of this is the will of the Most High that they have built, and he's going to throw down. So I want to go here in Daniel 7, where it breaks down a little bit about what the kingdom and the beast is. So here in Daniel 7, verse number 15, it says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. Okay, so Daniel in the 7th chapter had a vision, and his vision was the same as Nebuchadnezzar's dream, except it came in a different form through beasts. As you can see here in this first beast, second beast, third beast, and the fourth beast. He didn't understand this fourth beast, and this vision troubled him. Okay, so we're going to go back to Daniel, where it says here in 17, these great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. Okay, so that's exactly what he's seen, was 4 beasts that arose out of the earth, which means these 4 kingdoms arose one after the other. Here you have the Babylonian kingdom, which is the rulership that he was under at that moment. After the Babylonian kingdom fell, which is the kingdom, they had rulership over the nations. All nations served King Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. After that kingdom fell, the Persian and Medes rose to power. After the Persian and Medes rose to power came the Greek Empire, which Alexander the Greek, as you can see in a movie such as Alexander, as well as in the movie 300, you can see the Greeks come into power after the Persian and Mede, after Xerxes or Artaxerxes that you can read in the Bible, as well in history. This is a history book as well. It's a prophecy, a book of prophecies, and a book of history. So it's going into the Greek kingdom here in the 3rd beast. Now the 4th beast, which is the kingdom that we're under right now, obviously because we're not in the kingdom of heaven. So we're somewhere, well, absolutely at the end of this beast, this 4th beast, which if you go into the same dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, you can see that the iron and the iron with clay are similar because it's compared to being the same beast in Daniel's dream. So the Roman Empire, which is the iron that came after the Greek, was followed by the iron and clay, which is all part of the 4th beast. So this vision was kind of trouble to Daniel, and he was given the interpretation of it. He wasn't precisely given the interpretation about this 4th beast, which kind of troubled him in the scriptures, which you can find throughout the Bible, well, throughout Daniel. So I'm going to go here in Daniel 7, verse 18. Back to 17. These great beasts which are 4 kings which shall arise out of the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So that's pretty clear about how long this next rulership after the 4th beast is going to come, because the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Verse number 19. Then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. So that's exactly what we've seen here, was that 4th beast come to power, and he stomped the people with all around the globe under him. They have subjection. They have the dominion over the planet and all the nations that are in it, which I've explained is falling, as you can visually see here. This here, 1492, 1550, it shows the growing of this beast, which is part of them stomping the residue of the people with their feet, which is bringing them under them, which it's clear. It doesn't take a genius or a racist man to understand that in these last days, it is a white man's world that we live in. We live in a so-called white man's world right now. Even Tupac Shakur made a song called White Man's World. It is clear that the Caucasian people have power over the planet. The same Romans who were Caucasian have power over the planet, because all these other beasts were not Caucasian. The Babylonians were not whites. The Persian and Medes was not the so-called white man. You have the Greeks and the Romans that came to power afterwards, which is the same type of beast. The Greeks, the Greco-Roman Empire goes hand in hand, as you'll see when I break down Esau. Okay, so definitely this is them stomping the residue with their feet. To Daniel 7. It says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Okay, so going back into Daniel a little bit, you see in verse 11, it spoke about another horn that came up. It says, I beheld them, in verse 11, I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even to the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. So he's speaking about a little horn that came up in this rulership, in this last beast of these 10 horns, which this little horn is America. Excuse me, this little horn is America. Right here, it's the last of this 10 kingdoms or 10 rulers over this last beast. So this beast has been completely different than the other beasts. As you can see here, that the other beast didn't have all these other nations of people that helped take control of the entire world. Daniel 7. It says, verse number 21, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. So this here is telling you that that horn is talking about a rulership or a kingdom that made war with the saints. The saints are the people of the Most High, the Israelites. The chosen people throughout the Bible are recognized as the saints. Through Roman Catholicism, you'll never understand what the saints is because they completely distort the saints. So the saints in the Bible, if you go into Psalms 50, it speaks of the people being the saints. Psalms 148, 149, as well as Deuteronomy 33, breaks down exactly who the saints are, being the children of Israel. Okay, so he's seen this horn made war with the saints. And that has to do with America. That is America, made war with the Negroes from the slave trade, the Native Americans whose land they're under right now, whose land they have control over, as well as the Hispanics that they continue to oppress even until this day. So we're going to go back here. It says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. He conquered them. He destroyed them. Verse number 22, it says, until the Ancient of Days came. The Ancient of Days is the Most High, the Almighty. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Verse 23, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. That's, like I said, a complete visual of prophecy, a visual of the kingdom, and a visual of the fourth beast is this entire colonialism and history of colonialism around not just the globe, but in the New World. As you can see, they stomped everybody on their feet. Africans, Asians, the people of India, all these nations of people, they have completely put under their subjection. Verse number 24. It says, and the 10 horns out of the kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. So the 3 kings that we're really speaking about here has to do with the Spanish, the French, and the British here in America, imperialism. This is that fourth beast, the end of the fourth beast right here. This is that little horn that we're about to see. Here in verse number 25 says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times and the dividing of times. So quite a long time period the saints of the Most High have been given over into this kingdom. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. This also is made known in this image. This image has a lot of information in it. So right here, the subtitle in this image says, the term colonialism is normally used with reference to discontiguous overseas empires rather than contiguous land-based empires, European or otherwise. European colonization during the 15th to 19th centuries resulted in the spread of Christianity to sub-Saharan Africa, the Americas, Australia, and the Philippines. So when the scripture here says he spake great words against the Most High, this image tells you exactly some of the major part of those great words being spoken out against the Most High. And through Christianity, they've been able to change laws. They've made even sodomy laws. Sabbath day has been completely distorted. Many different laws and times. They changed the times to where you don't even understand the biblical breakdowns of the days. So they completely made themselves a different calendar as well. Everything they do in this kingdom and in this fourth beast is contrary to God. It's contrary to the Most High, and is exactly what it says here, speaking great words against the Most High. So when you see certain Christians and Christianity exalting Babylon and saying God bless America with their American flags, that means they have no clue about this fourth beast and the great words that they speak against the Most High. Especially Hispanics and Native Americans and Negroes that are all pro-Babylon or pro-America. They have no clue that this is the fourth beast that is speaking great words against the Most High. Okay, so here, and it also says that the people, the saints of the Most High, are going to be given into their hand for quite some time. As you can see, it gives a breakdown of the time. Daniel 7:26, it says, "But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume it and to destroy it unto the end." That's another prophecy you'll never hear in religion, is that the Most High is going to give judgment to this beast, the last section, the last portion of this last beast, and he's going to destroy it. Earlier in the chapter, it says he's going to burn this place with fire. You'll never hear that in Christianity. They want you to believe that this place is a good place because it is the spread of their Christianity. The beast is what spread Christianity. It's a pagan overlay of the scriptures that are hiding the people of the Most High in our truth. Here in verse number 27, which is very important. Verse number 27 is very important. It says, "And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." That's the kingdom of heaven. This right here is the kingdom of heaven. And in its most simplest and basic breakdown, this one scripture is talking about the world domination of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what it means, the greatness of the kingdom and dominion under the whole heaven. That's world domination. That's what you see here. They've dominated the world. This is the fourth beast that has the kingdom right now. They have dominion over the planet. They use their military might to destroy people, to destroy nations of people. So here in Daniel 7, where it says, this kingdom, after this, the fourth beast's dominion is consumed and destroyed, after this dominion is taken away, the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. As I said, the saints of the Most High are the children of Israel, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Now, if you go into Revelation 7, which a lot of people don't like when I bring out Revelation 7, but for certain, it speaks of the servants of the Most High. And it gives the number of the Israelites, or the saints of the Most High. Here it is, Revelation 7:4, it says, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." And then it goes into the breakdown of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. So this scripture is not irrelevant. You can bring this scripture out to to Christians and religions and people that have no clue what the kingdom of heaven is, and tell them that this is even numbered, the dominion, the people that will be given dominion, and the servants of the Most High are numbered. But many religious people believe this scripture is irrelevant, even though the entire Bible pertains to that number. As I said, these people have completely distorted the Bible through their Christianity, through the spread of their Christianity throughout their realm, throughout their dominion. So it is completely distorted. But the Most High is waking up the saints of the Most High to the real truth and what the real kingdom of heaven is. It's dominion. You'll never hear that one word being spoken about throughout Christianity or religion, is that this fourth beast, dominion, is going to be taken away, and dominion is going to be given to the saints of the Most High, the people that last beast wore out. And as I said, it's pretty clear. Like, you don't have to have a college degree to understand that we live in a so-called white man's world, and that they have dominion through America's might, through their banking companies, and through their religion. Also, the Vatican has completely distorted distorted the Bible, which is Hebrew text. This is when it says they spread Christianity and spake great words against the Most High. They've completely distorted what the kingdom of heaven is and who the people of the saints of the Most High is. So their entire religion is completely distorting the Bible, and majority of them have no clue. If you saw on social media, I've said it continually, that the Christians haven't even the slightest clue about what the Bible is talking about, and they will think I am being mean or harsh or speaking very ugly towards them. But it is the simple truth that they haven't even the slightest clue about what's going on in the Bible, because of this fourth beast that spread the Christianity that they've been deceived by. So as I said, brothers and sisters, this kingdom is so unbelievably close. This dominion that the Most High has promised, it's a promise. He promised the saints of the Most High, and the Creator does not break promises. He can put his promises in a book. He can put his real truth in a book, and let the beast spread falsehoods about it, and only bring a few of his people out of the real truth, out of this brainwash and into the real truth. So with this visual speaks of volumes. And the subtitle as well, because this is the beast that spread Christianity. This isn't the real truth of the Bible. This is that last dominion holding on to their very last hopes, their very last little bit of dominion that they have until the Most High consumes this place. So as I said before, even America is fallen. This American empire that once had a very strong hold over many countries, now these other countries have nukes and nuclear weapons just as the Americans do. So with their wall that they feel they need to be made great again, it speaks in volumes. Centuries they've never had a wall that separated borders. So it's coming very close to that time. As you see here, it's growing still. 1754, their dominion was growing at this time. 1822, that dominion was stronger. They're stomping the people under their feet. 1885, they're controlling the globe. Even in 1885, 1914, a very strong hold over the nations of people around. And as you see, 1938, they're falling, they're going backwards, they're losing it, they're losing control in Africa and throughout the entire world, even in Europe. So as I said, this is a very strong visual right here. You can visually see that they're losing power. You can visually see that very close this is coming to an end. This entire place is about to lose its dominion. And the entire beast is about to lose their dominion. And the people of the saints of the Most High are going to possess the kingdom. And it says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. But it's going to take a mighty force to bring down this last beast, which is the Most High and his Son. Through his Son, he's going to tear this entire place down. Every single kingdom, every dominion on the planet is soon about to lose that. Through his Son. That's what he's coming to do, is to make war with the nations and put the people back in the proper place where his chosen people belong. So with that being said, I'm going to go into Romans 9, because many people believe in the New Testament that now all these things are done away with, like he broke his promises or whatever reason, whatever deception that has distorted them. We're going to go into now in Romans 9 and break that up. Okay, so here's Romans 9, verse number 13. It says, as it is written. As it is written means just like it was written before, like before time. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So not unlike it was written, but as it is written. As it is written, just like I read here in Malachi. Esau was Jacob's brother, said the Most High. Yet I loved Jacob and I hated Esau. And it tells you that through the prophecies that the people, they're going to be the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. So border of wickedness, and he's going to be magnified through the border of Israel. So we're going to go back here in Romans 9. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. That means no. Who are we to say who the Most High can love and who he hates? There's no such thing as unrighteousness in the Most High. His will is his will. No man, person, or nations, no multitude of people can change the Most High's will. It says, is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. Verse 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth or of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. So it has nothing to do with anything anyone can do. The Most High is going to show mercy on whom he chooses. It says, it is of God who showeth mercy. Verse number 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So once again, just like Pharaoh, this is spiritual Egypt we're under right now. When he says, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, this is what he's talking about. He raised up this kingdom just like he did Pharaoh in Egypt before the Exodus. The Egyptians and Pharaoh were a strong people, strong nation that had his people in subjection, oppressed. So it's the same thing that he's saying here in Romans 9. For the same reason, he set up Pharaoh, just like he set up Esau. And it says here in verse 18, therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth. So it took a hardening for them to do what they did. For them to take the slave trade, to do the transatlantic slave trade, the Spanish Inquisition, the slaughter and massacre of the Native Americans, it takes a hardening from God to do these ungodly things to his people. So he hardened Esau just like he hardened Pharaoh. Verse number 19, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? So nobody, like many people, still can't understand that the Most High chose Esau chose Jacob and not Esau. So why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Verse 20, nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? So who are we to say who the Most High should choose and who he shouldn't choose? Or who should be his people and who should not be his people? You can't make the Most High do anything that you want him to do. Verse number 21, hath not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So the creator that made man and the nations of people on this planet, he is the potter, and he has power over the clay to do with it as he chooses. One vessel to honor and another unto dishonor. This is also an interpretation of Malachi, where it said that they shall build, but I will throw down, here in verse 4. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and then ye shall say, the Most High will be magnified from the border of Israel. So here in Romans 9, it says it differently, but compares one as a vessel of honor and another unto dishonor. Same exact thing as Malachi, just like it was written. Verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So long suffering, much long suffering, he allowed for these people to stomp many people under his feet. Not just his chosen people, but many people. Romans 9. It says here in 22, what if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. So he allowed for these people to grow and be strong like he did Pharaoh. For a long time, he allowed Pharaoh to have his people in Egypt. The vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. And he's going to make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. So he's going to let the world know once again that he is the almighty power and strength and the God of Israel. That he had afore prepared unto glory. Throughout the entire Old Testament and the entire covenant, he made known his people that were prepared unto glory, as also in Daniel 7, where it says, the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven. That's exactly what he's talking about. Afore had prepared them for glory. That's the glory. The glory that was afore prepared. So this here verse, many people will take it out of context because they don't understand. They're unlearned people. Romans 9, verse 24 says, even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Afore, it takes a knowledge of who the Jews were and the Gentiles being spoken of are the northern kingdom. There was a separation in the kingdom, which I had just broke down a little bit about this Negro Israelite doctrine that are destroying the understanding of this. They can never comprehend this. Christians can never comprehend this because all the Israelites were not the Jews. They can never understand this under their doctrines, as well as the Negro Israelites that are teaching that the Israelites are all Negro. They can never comprehend this. Their doctrines are contrary to this. So that's why a little bit I've gone back into some of the basics a little bit to bring out who the real Israelites are, to be able to give the understanding of who both the Jews and the Gentiles being spoken of are the Israelites. that he had a foreprepared unto glory. He never prepared Esau to glory, because he just told you that, as it was written, Jacob have I loved, yet Esau have I hated. So it's not the incorporation of the other nations. It's specifically talking about the Israelites who were Gentiles. So I want to go here also in Hebrews 5 verse number 12. It says, for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So for certain, I've had a little bit of discernment to be able to understand good and evil by understanding these false doctrines out here that are teaching lies about the northern kingdom, as well as Christianity. Christianity is a complete manipulation. None of the things I just went into can a Christian ever break down. They're teaching you contrary to the Bible, to where you can't understand these things. They need milk once again. They need to go back into Genesis, back through the beginning, back into understanding the true oracles of the Most High, which is not Christianity. They have need of milk, basics, as well as the all-Negro Israelite doctrine. That's why I came back to some basic things to be able to understand the manipulations that are coming out of a specific Israelite tribe, which is the Dan tribe, which I've been speaking about excessively on my YouTube channel. Okay, so Daniel 4, I want to go into Daniel 4 as well. Verse number 17, it says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So the Most High, from Daniel's prophecy, tells you that he rules in this world. He sets up the rulerships in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he chooses, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So when he says that, he sets up the basis of men. He even took a caveman and gave him the world. He made a caveman dominate the world. So for certain, he can reinvent his chosen people and fulfill the prophecies that he had promised aforetime, which is the kingdom and dominion. Because as of right now, the basis of men are our people. The basis of men are the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the world right now that are of the basis of men. We have no might in our hands and no power whatsoever. So definitely, if he could set the caveman up to be what he has become, he has reinvented his people. He is waking his people up, who are the saints of the Most High, to the real truth of the Bible. And he says who rules in this world. So he's definitely bringing forth these prophecies and awakening his people to the truth and the promises that he made to our forefathers. So I want to go here also, and we already broke down the number because it's very important. 144,000 of all these numbers, of all these people, the 12,000 from all these tribes. He even disinherited a tribe of Danites. There's even a nation of people called Dan that the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven is not going to pertain to. So it's not of him that chooseth. What does it say here in Romans 9? It's the Most High who shows mercy. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. There's even a nation of people that he is going to show his wrath upon, who have consented with this beast, that is consented with the so-called white man. That if you go into my channel, you'll find out that the Choctaw, Chickasaws, Cherokees, which I brought out much history about, have consented with this beast because they're not even written. And they're black. And they're teaching this Negro Israelite doctrine as well. They're the ones that created this, that's deceiving so many people with falsehoods. So, brothers and sisters, as I break down a little bit about this, these are basics. This is basic understanding about what the kingdom and dominion is. So I'm not being mean to Christians or just picking on Christians who are manipulating scriptures and have no knowledge of the Bible, because they don't. I say that because it's true, not because it's just being mean. They haven't even the slightest clue about what the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven means, because it's contrary to their doctrines. So I'm going to just pull out this Zoroastrianism, which is a Persian pagan worship, which is basically just another Baal evolution. Baal is an ever revolving worship that changes. It has changed in many different periods of time, as well as what their Christian is teaching. They're teaching a pagan Baal worship that overlays the Israelite scriptures. Very crafty. Crafty counsel to keep that beast going. So right here, I'm going to go down here where it says major features of Zoroastrianism, such as messianism, judgment after death, heaven and hell, and free will, have influenced other religious systems, including Second Temple Judaism, Gnosticism, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. So all these pagan religions, none of these are biblical. None of these are of the Bible, including Christianity. Their heaven and hell comes from Zoroastrianism, Baal worship. Their entire worship is falsehood. It's a part of the beast. It's a part of the fourth beast who spread the Christianity. But brothers and sisters, I continue to say we must continue with learning, continue getting this knowledge out of the book to get it correctly. Because as we can see here, their time is almost up. Look at all these rulerships. This is the miry clay. They mixed themselves and dominated the world. They've dominated. Look at 1914, 1938. They're fallen. As I said, this is a perfect visual to get the full understanding that these people are falling. Their rulership is almost over, and the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We can visually see that the kingdom of heaven is at hand because these people are fallen. With that being said, brothers and sisters, I want to say shalom, increase in knowledge, increase in learning of the Bible, and get the full understanding, starting from the beginning, the basics, the milk. If you have to start all over with the understanding, if you have to start all over into Genesis 49, research. Continue to research because it's an ever-learning process. So brothers and sisters, I want to say shalom and all praises due to the Most High.